Welcome back. My name is Aaron Lanning, your favorite realtor. Make sure you download our relocation guides, links below. Now, I live in Menifee and I love Menifee, but today we're talking about Menifee versus Winchester. Let's go. Now this video is quite important because Menifee and Winchester share a border, and there are always many out-of-town buyers wondering which one they should choose, Menifee or Winchester. Don't forget to watch till the end. I'm going to share my personal thoughts on this, but finding the perfect location often starts with exploring nearby cities that align with my clients' preferences and their wants and needs. Now, the first thing to think about is the cost of living. The cost of living in my previous video comparing Menifee to other cities, Menifee is consistently ranked as a top choice due to its lower cost of living. The cost of living is indexed various factors. I'll provide a link below with an excellent website that breaks this down, but essentially anything under 100 indicates a lower cost of living compared to the national average, while anything over 100 indicates a higher cost of living compared to the national average. Menifee ranks at 131.2 versus Winchester, which is also at 131.2. Now, this is the second time I've come across a tie or a near tie in the cost of living indexed between two cities. Makes sense since they literally share a border, but I've never seen a tie. The closest thing we got was Menifee versus Paris. You can check that video out later as well. Now, in October 2023, the average purchase price of homes in Menifee was up to $562,000, which is a 2% increase compared to last year. Versus Winchester, which was up as well, up to $600,000. That is an 8.8% increase compared to October 2022, year over year. I mention housing because it's a big part of the cost of living. And it's important to note that Winchester is building tons of new builds, tons of new construction, and I've done several videos about some of those developments out there. That's all over my channel on the new build playlist. You can check that out. But jumping back into this video, the median home age in Winchester is 30 years old, while Menifee says 21 years old as well. I also think that that's artificially inflated because Menifee did annex several other local cities years ago, so we also inherited a lot of older homes. The core of Menifee is much newer, and that median age in Winchester will be much different in 3 to 5 years because they are building tons and tons of new homes. There's going to be many more differences to address in this video, but as far as the property tax rate goes, Winchester's property tax rate is 2.12%, while Menifee's tax rate, the base tax rate says 1%, but when you factor in the CFDs, which is the community facility districts, and special assessments, we're right at that 1.5 to 2.1% as well. Yet homes are less expensive in Menifee, but Menifee's taxes are a little bit higher than other surrounding cities, excluding Winchester. And that's again because there's so much new construction and infrastructure being built. And I do deep dive into Menifee's taxes in my videos, 5 reasons not to move to Menifee. It's also significant to note the difference in population. Menifee has an estimated 113,000 people, whereas of 2020 in Winchester only had 3,300. So big difference here. The second thing to consider is education. The educational system, as we've discussed in previous videos in Menifee, the school district is not yet unified, meaning grades 9th through 12th are under the Paris Union High School District. Now, there are ongoing efforts to unify the Menifee school districts, and the school district is aiming to meet all the necessary criteria points by November 5th, 2024. This unification has the potential to bring tons of positive changes, such as improved student programs, curriculum, school counters, facility use, teacher collaboration. So a lot of exciting developments are on the horizon for Menifee's education system. Winchester, however, falls within the Temecula Valley Unified School District. A huge plus. Tons of educational options because of that. Now do keep in mind, because of fair housing laws, it's essential to conduct your own research on the school districts for you and your family, but a valuable resource for this is greatschools.org. They offer great insight and performance and can help you in making uniform decisions about your children's education. Also look for local Facebook groups as well. The third thing to consider is the commuting, connectivity, and growth of the city. Tons of plans and development going on. The Holland overpass is being constructed right now as we speak to help accommodate this traffic problem in Menifee. Road improvements, transportation, and recreational spaces are being built as well. You can go to exploremenifee.com/nearby attractions to find some of that. But both Menifee and Winchester, they're about the same in commuting to San Diego or LA or Big Bear, about the same distance to the freeway, as Menifee might be a smidge closer as we're literally split by the 215 freeway, but it's pretty darn close to the same for the most part. Now Menifee, we have seen substantial growth and development. Even though Winchester's population is a little bit smaller, it's a little bit more quiet atmosphere, they still have to go through Menifee to get to the 215 freeway. So congestion has become a big issue as of late. Now Menifee's growth rate obviously has contributed to that congestion. Our growth rate is 3.07, which a good growth rate for a city is 1 to 3% range in growing cities. So we're definitely above average as far as that goes. There is no data right now for Winchester, such a small populated city as of right now. But it is transitioning, and it has transitioned through the years from that small community to becoming a pretty nice place to live. The fourth thing to consider is things to do. So Menifee does have several golf courses in the area, tons of hiking trails, massive bike path that was just built a few years ago. Menifee Country Marketside Place has tons of shops and restaurants to explore, walk around, several lake features and playgrounds. Menifee also has some arts and culture scenes that are also growing, with a few local art galleries popping up. So to find something that you really like, go to exploremenifee.com and you'll find out tons of information. I also did a video on the top 5 parks in Menifee that might help you out as well, learning more about Menifee, the surrounding area. Winchester does have some unique attractions and activities, and parts of Winchester have like this historical charm. There's a Sweetwater Farm and Petting Zoo. It's probably one of the fan favorite by locals, but I've also enjoyed the Winchester Farms Country Market as well. But besides those few things, there's not a whole lot to do in Winchester. The fifth thing to consider is crime and safety. That's our fifth and final thing to really look at. And I'm sure most people prioritize safety when choosing a location for their home, no matter where they're gonna buy a home. But the number of violent crimes per 100,000 people in Menifee was only 153.3, and that's much lower than the average for California at 441, and then the whole country at 379. So people feel safe in living in Menifee, and that's one of the reasons I live here. When we do look at Winchester, the crime rate is slightly higher at 398. So that's definitely something to consider for you and your family. Now, when you're choosing between these two cities, it really just depends on your priorities. If you value a little bit of a historical charm, a little more quiet atmosphere, Winchester may be the right choice for you in my opinion. But on the other hand, if you want newer development, a little bit closer to modern amenities, and a little bit closer to LA or San Diego counties, Menifee would probably be the better choice for you. Ultimately, it hinges on your specific preferences and wants and needs. That's all I have for you folks. Please like, follow, subscribe if this video helped you learn a little bit more about Menifee and or the surrounding areas. I'll see you in the next one.